I think, it's, for a metaphor, what I'd say is that the way we can think of what we're trying to do is really going back to a story like a polio vaccine, where there was a terrible epidemic of a terrible disease causing people to be paralyzed. And researchers in those days, in the 1940s and 50s, had very limited knowledge of things that we know now about science, but they did what was logical in front of them. They took the virus, they grew the virus up, they learned how to inactivate it, they learned how a vaccine would work, and what they were able to do then is essentially eradicate a very terrible disease. So the metaphor that we try to use, which is more of a scientific one, is that we have a scientific obstacle with HIV, which is a new level of obstacle. We have to understand a much more complicated virus and a pretty complicated immune response. And if we can do that, we can make a vaccine to HIV. And so those of us in the field believe that it's a scientific challenge, but it's completely feasible. We'll get there. It will take some time, it will take some years, but we'll be able to design a vaccine.
There is plenty of new science. I mean, the fact that it will be novel data on PrEP, using antiretroviral treatment for prevention in key affected population. You will have new data on using antiretroviral treatment with vaginal ring, which is very important for women to prevent themselves against the HIV infection. So I mean, it's a wide range of data coming from different area, basic science, clinical science, implementation science as well.
Well, I think what journalists can do is to report the evidence-based information that we have and avoid speculation about things and talk about the things that we know. For example, there had been some prior confusion about whether pre-exposure prophylaxis or PrEP actually works or not. And now we have a number of studies that absolutely clearly indicate and prove that if you take PrEP, it works. If you don't take it, obviously it's not going to be very efficacious. And so there really should be no confusion about PrEP.